Good morning, everyone. Let's see if I can tune this up a little bit better. Good morning, everyone. Let's see here. See if I can bring this in better. We're reading the Catechism of the Catholic Church this morning. Good morning. I want to remind everybody, we have Pat Gervais, one of our members of the Man Cave and members of the Ocean Sunrise Catechism, does a daily rosary. So if you have any prayer requests, you should post them here, and then he can know he'll know to include you in his prayers every night. So if you're not a friend of Pat Gervais, you can friend him, and then you'll see what he's doing his evening rosary. You know, when he's doing his evening rosary, sometimes you may be busy, but you can just turn it on and participate like that. And so be sure and post your prayer requests. So thank you guys for sharing. I think it really helps us expand our ministry. I want to thank those people who are $20 per month Patreon donors. And I know if you are, you go to patreon.com, patreon.com / Bear Woznick Deep Adventure. You become a $20 Bear Claw member, and then you get the Long Ride Home episodes like months and months and months before EWTN airs them, and you get our radio show months before they're aired, the video version of our radio show. So for those of you who, last week we sent out episode 17 of season 3, and I'm just curious if you received them and you watched them. Post your comments here. Let us know what you thought about episode 17, the latest episode, the director's cut. Let us know what you thought about it. Post it here if you like. So we're talking about the Apostles' Creed, and we're in chapter 1. We're in article 1. I believe in God the Father. I really like that when you say you've shared. That's really cool. I always say that you've shared, and that reminds everyone else to press the share button too. Our profession of faith begins with God. Long Ride Home coffee cup, available on our website. For God is the first and the last, the beginning and the end of everything. The Credo begins with God the Father. For the Father is the first divine person of the most holy Trinity. Our creed begins with the creation of heaven and earth. For creation is the beginning and the foundation of all God's works. I have to reach too far to put my coffee cup down today. You know, God works. I interviewed someone last week. He's a full professor at University of St. Thomas, Dr. Michael Naughton, who wrote a book called Getting Work Right. And if you're a $20 member, you'll get that earlier. But anyway, I asked him, are we working in heaven? Of course we are, because God works. Jesus said, even now the Father and I, we work. There's the work of creation, there's the work of salvation, but there's also rest. But in heaven, we're going to get to participate in the work of the Lord even more than we do here. It's going to be cool. I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I believe in God. The first affirmation of the Apostles' Creed is also the most fundamental. The whole creed speaks of God, and when it also speaks of man and of the world, it does so in relation to God. The other articles of the creed all depend on the first article. Just as the remaining commandments make the first explicit, so like in the commandments, it says that we're to believe in God, and that makes all the other commandments make sense. The other articles help us to know God better as he revealed himself progressively to men. The faithful first profess their belief in God, so God gradually is revealing us. Not sure, Peter, what you're... Oh, I see. Oh, you're talking about what we're doing. Yeah, thank you. I really like doing our radio and our TV show And I hope we can keep doing it. It's your help that helps us to do that. Peter's one of our monthly donors in the Patreon. Patreon.com/Bear Woznick Deep Adventure. Yeah, I'd really like to keep doing these things. I hope you would too. So, oops, a little bit of a breeze today. God gradually reveals himself to us. He is the rewarder of those who diligently seek him, not the rewarder of those who kind of sort of want to know him, but those who diligently seek him. I know as a youth, I always really wanted to know God. I've been raised in the Catholic Church, but I really didn't have a relationship with him. And I really wanted to. And God was faithful and revealed, had that moment of conversion where I knew that God was real and my life changed forever when I was 19. These are the words with which the Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed begins. The confession of God's oneness, which has its roots in the divine revelation of the Old Testament. Of the Old Covenant. It's inseparable from the profession of God's existence and is equally fundamental. The Christian faith confesses that God is one in nature, one in substance, one in essence. So, God is existence and God is essence. God is one. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, three persons with one nature, consubstantial. To Israel, his chosen, God revealed him as the Holy One. This is the great, great statement of Israel. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. Through the prophets, God calls Israel and all nations to turn to him. Boy, that coffee tastes particularly good today. To turn to him, the one and only God. Turn to me and be saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am God, and there is no other. To me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Only in the Lord, and it shall be said of me, are righteousness and strength. This is from Isaiah 45 and from Philippians. I'm going to read it again. Turn to me and be saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God, and there is no other. To me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Only in the Lord it shall be said of me, are righteousness and strength. Only in the Lord are righteousness and strength. Righteousness means to be in right standing. That means to stand in your faith, to stand in what you believe. And we become in right standing because of the works of Jesus Christ, our faith in his work of salvation, and believing in him with a obedient belief. Good morning, Raymond. I don't know how to say Jean Burdette Deloach, but I think it must be, is it Jean? Jean? Jean with a soft J? Let us know, Burdette. Jean. Good morning, Dan. Our prayers are with you today for your conquering and your victory with your chemo. Jesus affirms that God is the one Lord whom you must love with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. At the same time, Jesus gives us to understand that he himself is the Lord. To confess that Jesus is Lord is distinctive in Christian faith. This is not contrary to believing in one God, nor does believing in the Holy Spirit as the Lord and giver of life introduce any division into the one God. Remember God in Genesis, let us make man in our image. God is a trinity of persons, but with one nature, one person. We firmly believe and confess without reservation that there is only one true God, eternal, infinite, immensus is the word for infinite, and unchangeable, incomprehensible, almighty, and ineffable. Now you notice most of these words have the word E, the letter E, or in, the word in, or the word on. Eternal, he is not terminal. Infinite, he is not finite. Unchangeable, he doesn't change. So we're saying what he isn't. Because he's so big, it's hard to describe what he is. He is eternal, he's not terminal. Hey, good morning, Rod. Aloha. He's not finite. He doesn't change. We can't comprehend him. Incomprehensible. He's almighty and ineffable. We can't comprehend him. The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, three persons indeed, three persons, but one in essence, one in substance or nature, entirely simple. So what does entirely simple mean? In the Lateran Council, these words we're reading. Simple means that he is not composite. It means God doesn't have parts. Like my stand for my camera has all kinds of parts. God is not composite. He's simple. He's a unity. He's one. Three persons with one in being, consubstantial, one in essence, one in existence, one in nature. God doesn't have parts, but these three persons in one nature. So did you understand it? Well, if you understand it, that's probably not the way to comprehend it, because we can't comprehend that simple, that mystery. That's called a mystery. We just accept it in faith. Good morning, Karen. Thank you for your faithfulness. By the way, I think you have a picture of probably that's your dog there. What's your dog's name? Because now we're going to be talking about how God reveals his name and how important a name is. Paragraph 203 of the Catholic Catechism. God revealed himself to his people Israel by making his name known to them. When you make your name known, it's a powerful thing. When I know Karen's dog's name and I was there, he'd probably be all happy to be around me and me wag his tail, moving around the room. But if I called his name, he would give me his attention. I'm not saying that God is like a dog, but a name is very significant. And for God to reveal his name to us means we can call on his name and we can have his attention. It's a big deal to know someone's name. I remember once, I'm so bad at remembering names, but I remember once I went to a wedding reception, someone I didn't know a single person in the whole room except for the person I went with. And I had just taken a memory course. This is back when I was 21, I think. And every single person that I met there, when I left the room, I called them by name. I probably met like 20 people or so that night, and I said goodnight to them by name. And it really had a great impact, so that people really liked me because I could remember their names. So to know someone's name is very, very special. And for God to reveal his name is very powerful. So kisses, baci is kisses in Italian. You have 8 golden retrievers. Wow. Yeah, okay. Bocce, it's so funny because I love to play bocce ball. Actually, I play pétanque. It's the French version. Smaller and balls that are usually made out of metal. I learned it in the days when I used to surf at contests in Biarritz, France. We'd surf at, we would play up at this clay court, up on the cliffs, overlooking the surf at this bar that stayed open until 2 in the morning. So I really have a fondness for it. Cindy and I were out yesterday in this area saying we could play bocce ball right here. So big fan of bocce. Anyway, I totally digressed this time. So God revealed himself to his people Israel by making his name known. A name expresses a person's essence and identity and meaning of this person's life. God has a name. It is not an anonymous force. He has a name. He's not like people, you hear people say, oh, I'm praying that the universe will bless you. God isn't the universe. God is not composite. God is simple. God is one. God is spirit. God isn't part of the universe, but he's right there with his creation. God is a person. He's an individual. He's not some ethereal, generic, universal something. God is a spirit. He's a person. Hey, Theo, good morning. Teach those second graders how to behave, Theo. Theo's Ted's 13-year-old son, who I love his sons, him and Thomas. God has a name. He is not an anonymous force. To disclose one's name is to make oneself known to others. In a way, it is to hand oneself over by becoming accessible, capable of being known more intimately and addressed. Is calling me. It's time to go and edit episode 18 with him. And we're also going to be doing 2 episodes today of our video version of our radio show. So busy day today, so I got to get going. I'll let you guys enjoy the sunrise for a moment though. It's really cool. My son Jeremiah is here visiting for a little while yesterday, and he's a real fan of Jeremiah's my oldest son, and he says he's really become a fan of our radio show. If you like our radio shows, you can go to Bear Woznick on the YouTube channel, and you can see all of our old video version of our radio shows. And they're just great and kind of podcasty in a way, but they're heard by millions of people each week. Or if you want to, you can go to patreon.com/Bear Woznick, become a donor at the $20 level, and you get all the radio shows months early. Anyway, love you guys. Press the share button. Give the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Aloha and ahui ho. Viva Cristo Rey.